you are brand new, this is a 1-hour chat. I hope you went to the bathroom before you got started, okay? Oh, but it looks like Phyllis is doing her homework too. Ooh, wait, Phyllis loves to watch Days of Our Lives. She needs to ride her exercise bike, so she put her bike in front of the TV. And those are the two things that she has bundled together. That is awesome. What? Oh my gosh. And Debbie says that 7-Eleven has zero water as a Slurpee now. Well, that's interesting. I did not know that. Okay, so the first half of this chat, oh, if you're new, this is a 1-hour chat. So I hope you went to the bathroom before you joined us, because you're stuck here for another 27 minutes before you can take a potty break. Sorry, there are no commercials. We did all just get our drink of water, so hopefully everybody got something to drink. We were just talking about temptation bundling in the first half of the chat. So again, these are an hour long, and the first half is reviewing whatever the Weight Watchers topic was from the prior week. You do not have to be a member of Weight Watchers to enjoy these free chats. You absolutely do not have to be a member. You don't even have to be doing Weight Watchers. You know, I mean, some of these are just, some of the things that we talk about are just good life lessons, you know, no matter what you're doing. You don't even have to be losing weight. Some of these things we just need to know. Okay. And I'm a true believer, or I do believe that we are all stronger together. So even if it's about raising kids, or like I'm going to sidetrack again for a second. So last Tuesday night, after our in-person workshop, I had this sweet little girl stop me, and she said, "Do you care if I ask you a question?" And I said, "Sure." And I thought it was going to be about this. And she said, "I hear you talking about your kids all the time." And she said, "How do you get them to eat? How do you get them to eat, you know, when little kids are such picky eaters?" And I said, "Well, my kid is almost 30 years old, so she can just eat whatever she wants to." And she didn't understand the humor in that. Apparently, I talk about Alyssa and Bo enough at our in-person workshop that she thought they were my children. Yeah. So anyway, my child is an adult, and she can eat whatever she wants to. So, you know, things like this. I mean, that had nothing to do with Weight Watchers, but she needed some advice on how to get her 5-year-old and 2-year-old to eat something besides chicken nuggets and fries. So ultimately, thank you, Jonna, and hopefully I'll see you Thursday night. So hopefully that little bit of advice that she got from me and from Gwen at our Tuesday night in-person workshop, she thought she was asking for advice on how to get her children who are picky eaters, how to get them to try some new things. But I promise you what's getting ready to happen is, if she can get them to try some new things, and she's not playing short order cook and making a meal for you, a meal for you, a meal for you, and by the time she gets to mom, she's just eating whatever's left on everybody else's plate. I promise you that's what's happening, because I did it for years. I see Casey doing it all the time. By the time you get to yourself, you know, you're the last person in line. Okay, so sidetrack. Okay, so we, Debbie, what is she eating? Are you talking about Casey, or are you talking about Alyssa or Bo? I don't know. You're talking about her kids? I don't know. Well, that's why I said, or posted something earlier about those little cute little insect-looking vegetable things, because we're still struggling with Alyssa after that. Okay, so totally sidetracked myself. The point is, these are great to go back and watch. There are going to be 315 of them now after tonight. You can go back and watch them on YouTube. Not everything we talk about is Weight Watchers related, okay? This temptation bundling, I said at the end of, hello Evie, I said at the end of the first half that I was using, oh, what's the lady eating? She's eating scraps off of her kids' plates. So by the time she makes a meal for her husband and both of the kids, by the time she gets to her, it's time to get everybody cleaned up, time to get all, you know, the kitchen cleaned up and get everybody to bed. I really, really, really think that she's eating she's eating the leftovers off of everybody else's plate. Or, you know, I don't think she's making something that everyone will eat. I think she is literally playing short order cook and making 3 different meals, and then she's just having to eat something, you know, from the 3 different meals. So anyway, so hopefully she's going to have some good news for us this Tuesday night. But in the first half, I told you all that that I used temptation bundling. So we're talking about this in the sense of Weight Watchers, but I used it at work this week, and it worked fantastically. I took something that I love, which is colorful sticky notes, Post-it notes, colorful stickers, pins, things like that. I got a new board with some colorful push pins, so I can put what I've got to get done that day, up on that board. I color coded everything, based on what had to be done, what was first priority, second priority, what could be pushed to the next day. I took that and I doubled it. So I took something I love and I paired it with something that which is the getting organized and figuring out what I've got to get done at work, and I bundled them. So temptation bundling. I'm also temptation bundling tonight in the second half of tonight's chat. So something that I love to do is to make fun and easy recipes with you all. So I love doing that. Something that I hate doing, not hate doing because you weren't supposed to pick something that you hate, Kelly. Something that I'm about is making sure that I have what I need to eat for lunch at work. I am currently all alone. I'm all by myself at work right now. And I'm going to be for at least another couple of weeks. There's an afternoon, and on Saturdays, that's the only time that I see another soul. So I'm going to use the temptation bundling theory, and I'm going to do that tonight to get myself some things ready to eat for lunch. So again, something I love to do, which is to make fast and easy recipes with you all, with something that's to do, which is to make sure I have something to eat at lunch for work, and I'm going to merge them together. So I am doing my, oh man, I'm so sorry. Sorry, Carol Lou, I just picked Carol Lou's Task Tempter. You can still do it. You can still do it. But I had to do this so that I don't starve to death this week. You should have seen me digging in that refrigerator to see what was in there. One of the days last week, it was not pretty. Okay, so what I'm going to make to last me for the next couple of days. So if you all know me, you know that I will not meal prep and eat the exact same thing every day, okay? It is not going to happen. So I'm going to make this one way, just one way. It's like a base for this. And then I'm going to tell you the 3 different ways that I'm going to enjoy this week. And then I want you all to chime in and tell me, what other ideas you have. So this is going to be, we're going to have a summer salad series. So that's very hard to say. I want everybody to stop right now and say summer salad series 3 times fast. That little bit of warm weather that we had for a couple of days here in East Tennessee really got me thinking about some salads, fruit salads, salads, different kinds of pasta salads, all this kind of stuff. And one of the ladies that works in the cabinet division of the building that I'm in now, her daughter was with her, and she was there on one of the hot days, and she's 15, and she turned around and looked at me and she goes, "It's watermelon day." And I said, "You know what? It is watermelon day." And her aunt, who also happened to be there, said, "Oh my gosh, is there some new holiday that I didn't know about?" And me and the 15-year-old looked at each other and we were like, "No, it's like 85 degrees outside. It's watermelon day. This is a watermelon day." Okay, well, today's not watermelon day, but I'm going to have a summer salad series. And again, I want y'all to say that super fast. So summer salad series, the first one that I'm going to make is my hot bacon broccoli slaw. That's what I'm going to make tonight, but I'm going to tell you 3 different ways to enjoy it, because I will not eat the same thing 3 days in a row unless it's pizza. Pizza or spaghetti, I could eat, a couple of days in a row. For me, it's got to be different, spiced up, whatever. So I'm going to make my base is going to be hot bacon broccoli slaw. That recipe is already on IfYouHaveAnEgg.com. So if you want to open another browser, don't leave the chat. So Carol Lou suggested that earlier, opening another browser so that you could go do this. But if you want to do that, you can go check out IfYouHaveAnEgg.com and type in hot space bacon, and it should come right up. So hot bacon broccoli slaw. The first ingredient that we're going to make in the hot bacon broccoli slaw is, and I'm just going to tell you what I make it with, because I've already got it mostly cooked, or we would be here until 10 o'clock tonight cooking this. So for hot bacon broccoli slaw, you're going to take whatever your favorite kind of bacon is. Mine is always going to be a center cut. It's always going to be uncured. I love the ones from, and I'm going to have to get another sip. Karen, I think, is here now, and she wore me out. She wore me out walking, so I have to have extra Gatorade Zero tonight. But the first ingredient, the longest part of this, is going to be the bacon. Sure, you can use regular bacon. You can just crisp up some regular bacon, but why would you? Why wouldn't you make hot bacon to go in your broccoli slaw? So the first thing you're going to do is take your favorite kind of bacon. Again, I like uncured, center cut. I do like the Applegate brand from Aldi. I like the uncured, let me think, what is it called? Uncured, center cut, whatever, blah, 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 bacon from Trader Joe's. I like that one. And then I like uncured Sunday bacon. Yeah, Carol, I think so too. And I do like Sunday bacon, which is sometimes a little bit hard to find in a normal grocery store. But all I do, and I'm not going to show you how because that'll take up, we would be here until 10 o'clock, and see it's already 8:43 Eastern time. And at some point I got to go to bed. At some point I have to eat my supper too and go to bed. But you just take that bacon, you can go over to IfYouHaveAnEgg.com and see exactly how to make it. But I cut it in half. I cut the bacon in half this way. So if the bacon's like this, I cut it in half this way and then pull it apart, and I do half at a time. But you're going to add, I add sugar-free syrup, some kind of sugar-free syrup to it. A little bit of, I use Truvia baking blend because this does have a little bit of real sugar in it, and so it kind of crisps it up really nicely. And then I use Dax Red Mountain Rub. We used to sell this at Casey Kitchen Center back when we had a retail store. We no longer have a retail store, so you can just go online and get this. It's just daxspices.com, and this one's called Red Mountain Rub. As if bacon needed anything else to taste good. My gosh. Oh my gosh, you've got to get this. And then, according to the recipe, you're going to cook it in your air fryer on 380 for somewhere between 14 and 18 minutes. Through the magic of television, mine's already mostly done, so we're just going to let it finish. Mine had about 4 minutes left, so we're going to let that finish cooking while I show you how to put the rest of this together, how to assemble the rest of this. So again, in that recipe, the bacon, just the bacon portion of it is called, I call that candied bacon, and we had that at my friend Karen, at my accountability Karen, we had that at her daughter-in-law's bridal shower. One of the better caterers here in town had made a candy bacon so good that people were smuggling it back to their seats, and one person actually wrapped some up and put it in their purse and said they were taking it to their husband, but we all know she was smuggling it out to eat it. Okay, so you're going to assemble the rest of this salad. How you're going to assemble the rest of it is you're going to mix up a little dressing. So for the dressing, this is a half of a cup of non-fat plain Greek yogurt, and then it's 1/8 of a cup of any brand of light mayonnaise. So again, a half a cup of non-fat plain Greek yogurt, and then 1/8 of a cup of any brand of light mayonnaise. And I just buy whatever's on sale. Sometimes I use Hellman's Light, sometimes I use, I don't know, just whatever's on sale. Okay, that's the first thing to put in there. Then you are going to, into your dressing, you're going to add some more of the Truvia baking blend, and it's supposed to be 2, or your favorite sweetener, and it's supposed to be 2 teaspoons. I ain't got time to measure that tonight, and there's only about 2 teaspoons left in my bag. It's time to get some more. So I'll put that in there. And then to that, you're going to add some red wine vinegar. So who has had red wine vinegar before? This one is mine and Casey's favorite. So I keep at home, I keep white vinegar, of course. I keep red wine vinegar. I keep rice wine vinegar. I keep apple cider vinegar. This one I go through hands down, over and over and over and over and over again, hands down more than any of the rest of them. So I'm constantly buying this. Now the recipe calls for, let's see, it calls for a tablespoon of red wine vinegar. I'm gonna put more than a tablespoon in here because I love it that much. You could start with a tablespoon and then you could add more to taste if you want to. Yeah. Carol Lou, Lynn, Debbie, yeah, they all love it and they use it all the time. So the reason you're putting the trivia in here, yeah, Vicky says, yum, my favorite red. Anna's got her hand raised. So the reason that you're doing the, and Roberta loves this one too. You're doing the trivia baking blend or whatever your favorite sweetener is because the red wine vinegar, it's vinegar, and it's so, you know, that you got to have just a little bit of sweet with it. And you know, this, you're going to think I'm crazy, but I can already tell from smelling that I need more red wine vinegar because I like mine, I like it tart. So I don't know if you were watching. Again, if you're doing this by the recipe, it's 1 tablespoon, okay? You should have measured out a tablespoon of red wine vinegar. But I love this so much. This was like to right there when I started pouring. So I probably just put 1/4 of a cup. Don't do that unless you've tried it before. But Casey and I love ours. And Casey did a pasta salad for her friend Jessica's baby shower yesterday. Ooh, the bacon's ready. For her cousin Jessica, her friend, perfect. Her friend Jessica's baby shower yesterday, yeah, she made it normal human. Debbie says that it's a great substitute for vinegar and brine for pickling. Did not know that. That's great information. Okay, so let's just stop for a second because we've only got like 12 minutes. When I said watching these videos, joining us here live, watching them later, that this is such a community. So that has what Debbie just said has absolutely nothing to do with Weight Watchers, but it has everything to do with Weight Watchers. So if you like to pickle, if you are into collecting vegetables, that's weird, preparing them for pickling, Debbie just gave some great advice that you wouldn't, oh yeah, and Vicki said the same thing, use the red to pickle onions and cucumbers. Would not have known that. So again, see, that has everything to do with Weight Watchers and yet nothing to do with Weight Watchers, okay? That's the perfect reason to interact with people here because you learn so much stuff. Okay, so we're going to take, it's supposed to be 3 cups of broccoli slaw, and I know some people who shred their own broccoli slaw. I ain't that girl. Okay, I don't have time for that, and this is probably more than 3 cups, but the hot bacon broccoli slaw is probably my #1. It is, I love it. Love, love, love it. Okay, and to that, you're going to add about a cup of Velveeta shredded cheese. You can use your own favorite shredded cheese. I use the Velveeta shredded cheese because it's a little bit lower in points and because I like the flavor of it. I'm also going to use some dried cranberries, but I kept out the little bag. I'm out of them now, but I kept the little bag to show you all to keep the points just a smidge lower, and I came out with 3 points for a cup after all this is said and done. But I used the Craisins 50% less sugar. A lot of y'all asked me about that last time. The Craisins 50% less sugar has just a teeny tiny bit less points, has a tiny bit less points. Okay, and a little bit less sugar. And I tell you what, I want something, or I'm going to use my tongs to toss this with. Okay, we're going to save the dried cranberries, the 50% less sugar dried cranberries. I'm going to save those to sprinkle on top. Oh my gosh, Carol, that's perfect. Carol said she saw this recipe online and it was called lawnmower salad. That is fantastic. I love that. Lawnmower salad. Love it. Totally love it. Totally love it. Okay, we're going to add the bacon next. So if you made the candied bacon according to the recipe, you should have some nice approaching crispy little pieces here. And they're going to be so sweet. Let me grab a paper towel real quick. I didn't think this all the way through. Okay, so these are still hot. These are still very hot. So I'm just going to use, you don't have to blot these in a paper towel. I'm just going to use this so that when I crumble them up, I don't burn my fingers. So then you're going to add to this, and these are so sweet, but you're going to add to this 4 slices. That's 8 little pieces. So it's 4 full slices. And remember when I was talking about breaking them up a little bit? So that's 4 full slices, or 8 of these half slices of bacon, of the candied bacon, and that's the bacon that I made in the air fryer. And let's see, what did Debbie say? Making that I would reduce the recipe for broccoli slaw and make that an egg roll in a bowl. Okay, so this summer of salads, you all throw out some salad ideas that you want me to make, or that you've made that you think everybody else would love to try. So I would love to hear about that. I would love to hear about your other salad ideas. Okay, while this cools off just a little bit more, I'm going to go ahead and pour this dressing in. So we've got the dressing, and see how creamy it came out? So again, that was a 1/2 cup of non-fat plain Greek yogurt, 1/8 cup of some kind of light mayonnaise, 2 teaspoons of Truvia, or your favorite, whatever your favorite low-cal sugar substitute is. And I'm just going to go ahead and use the tongs from the bacon to kind of toss this together. We've got it probably more than 3 cups of broccoli slaw, because I got a little carried away. Just put the whole bag of pre-prepared broccoli slaw in there. 1 cup of original Velveeta shreds. I'm getting ready to add my bacon to it, and the bacon, again, it's just my candied bacon recipe, and that is already on IfYouHaveAnEgg.com. Or if you just want to skip straight to the salad, if you go to IfYouHaveAnEgg.com, it is called hot bacon broccoli slaw. Or I love the what Carol Lou said, the lawnmower salad. That was fantastic. Okay, so now to this, we're going to add some of the bacon crumbles. And again, that's already on IfYouHaveAnEgg.com. Oh, and then it was supposed to be a tablespoon. It's for wimps, just kidding. A tablespoon of the red wine vinegar, and I used probably, I don't know, maybe close to 1/4 cup, which is a lot more than a tablespoon, because I love red wine vinegar. And the good news is, red wine vinegar is 0 points. Oh no, Phyllis can't find Velveeta shreds in her area. Have you tried ordering them through Amazon? I'll look and see if I can find an Amazon link and post that later. That is so sad news. I mean, you can use any kind of shreds. I just don't like, and I understand that Velveeta shreds are a processed cheese product. I get it, understand. I get scolded over my meatless meals group for using things that are, processed, whatever. You can use real cheese if you want to. You can use Dia shreds if you don't want to. If you don't want to, have real cheese. Okay, so Melissa just asked a great question. She said, "Is this your main dish or a side salad and having something with it?" Okay, so both. The answer is both, Melissa. Let me add these real quick, and then I'll tell you what I'm going to do with them, because we have only left us 5 minutes. So I'm adding the 50% less sugar craisins and a few pepitas. I put those on there, and look how beautiful that salad is. Okay, so A, I promise your family will eat this. B, I promise that you will eat this. C, Melissa asked a great question. I do use this as a side dish many times. This is a salad that Casey and I take to almost every function. She took this to the baby shower. We take this to almost every function because people love it so much. But when we take it like that, we're using it as a side, and sometimes when we're at home, we'll use it as a side. I'm going to be eating this as my meal for lunch 3 days this week. Exactly, Debbie. So I'm going to be eating this as my lunch, my meal at lunch at work for 3 days this week, or maybe even at home for supper. I don't know. But because I won't eat the exact same thing 3 different times, one of the days I'm going to throw some chicken in it. So Debbie said throw some rotisserie chicken in it. Perfect. Yep, no brainer. Rotisserie chicken. I do have some tofu that I need to make up. I'll be preparing the tofu separately and then just tossing it in this when it's time to eat. I'm not going to store those together just because tofu, if you don't eat it while it's fresh, does tend to get just a little bit mushy and it does not reheat well. But I love it, love tofu, so I'll be using that as one of my proteins to make this into a complete meal. I've also got a can of garbanzo beans that I can use to put in this. Or, like I said, Casey, when she makes this and takes it to events like the baby shower yesterday, she adds pasta to it. And adding pasta to this, oh gosh, Debbie, yeah, tuna or salmon would be fantastic. So now I'm going to have to get some of that. But Casey adds pasta to this, and you can see how big this bowl is already. When she adds the pasta, and it could be whole wheat pasta, you could do the garbanzo beans, you could add so many things to this. You can take this bowl, and by the time Casey gets done with it, her bowl is like, it's huge. It's a huge bowl of this, and I promise you, everyone eats it. Everyone loves it. Bo was even, her little girl, her 18-month-old Bo was even eating it. Now, she was picking the broccoli out, but she was eating the broccoli slaw flavored noodles that Casey had added to it. She uses the tricolor rotini. Bo had a little knife, and she was going, not a knife, a fork, and eating. Okay. So, again, we're going to have a summer of salads. This is going to get me prepped for the week. I'm going to add a couple of different things to it for each day so that it's not the same thing and gets boring, you know, every day. So now I have bundled this temptation. I love making simple things like this. I'm meh on getting things ready to eat. Ooh, taco meat would be good too, Vicki. I'm meh on getting things ready for me to have ready to eat at work. So I'm going to bundle those two things together and bundle my temptation, do my temptation bundling. Whew, so y'all have a great week. We are winding it down now. I'm actually going to go eat a little bit of this just by itself because I love it so much. But if you were watching this on YouTube, go ahead and let that next video roll over. I promise you will like it. And Annette says, can't wait to try this. It is so good. I promise everyone will like it. So let that next video roll over. I promise you enjoy it. You will enjoy it. Go ahead and click that subscribe button. Please, please, please. Yeah, Debbie says, drain and rinse a can of 3 beans to throw in with that. I might actually have that, so I'll have to look at that. And go ahead and click that little bell so that you'll be notified the next time that we start a video. Okay, so I hope everybody enjoyed this. I hope you've got something that you're thinking about. I hope you were already thinking about how to bundle some of those temptations. And sorry, Carol Lou, that I stole yours, but, you know, I'm sure you'll come up with something else fantastic. But y'all have a great evening and an even better week, and I will see you next time. Good night.